What's going on, guys? In this video, we're going to discuss everything we know about Blue Protocol going into 2023. For those who don't know, Blue Protocol is an upcoming online action RPG being published by Bandai Namco, and while Bandai is not using the term MMORPG, the game does have a lot of MMO elements very similar to games like Lost Ark. I've been following this game since it was first announced in 2019, and it has remained my most anticipated game since that time. Now that we have formal confirmation of its release to the global audience, I will be going all in on Blue Protocol content on my channel. If you followed me from my Genshin content, I'm forever grateful, and while I still play the game daily, I do not feel there's much more I can contribute to the community. I've been waiting for the next game to cover, and with the official announcement that Blue Protocol is coming out this year, well, here we are. We'll be discussing several things in this video, and timestamps will be included in the description if you want to skip to a specific section. Since the game is not officially released, just note that any of this information is subject to change, but I have done my research to make sure what is being covered is as accurate as possible. Blue Protocol is being published in Japan by Bandai Namco and will be holding its third and final CBT in Japan soon. The CBT was supposed to occur on January 14th, but has been delayed for now, and we're waiting for news on the updated date. The developers have confirmed a Japanese release date during the spring season of this year, or sometime between March and May. I was able to secure access to the CBT, so look out for some videos in the next few weeks covering the test and the current state of the game. Amazon Games will be publishing Blue Protocol for the North American, South American, European, and New Zealand audience, and have confirmed a release in the second half of 2023. Based on how Amazon handled Lost Ark, we can likely anticipate a closed beta test a few months ahead of release, and will likely be able to guarantee participation in this test by purchasing a Founders Pack for the game. Finally, the game is also being published in Taiwan, Hong Kong, and Macau by Cayenne Tech, and in Korea by Smilegate. Bandai has always been upfront that the game will be released in Japan first, and I'm actually extremely surprised by how quickly the global release will follow. In November, we finally also got confirmation that in addition to PC, Blue Protocol will be coming to Xbox and PS5. This is huge as it makes the game accessible to so many more players than a PC-specific release. With the more boring details out of the way, let's talk about the actual game, which is what we're really here for. Blue Protocol is an action RPG with full action combat and relatively simple and accessible controls compared to some other popular MMOs on the market. Characters will be able to access a basic attack and basic skill, 4 class-specific skills, an ultimate skill, and 2 summon-type skills called Imagines, which call a monster onto the field to perform an attack while buffing your character's stats. The basic skills are unique to each class, with each class having a gauge or meter allowing access to the skill. Blue Protocol has a pretty complex skill tree system for unlocking and upgrading your skills, which allows for customizing your build to your playstyle. When playing in a group combo meter called a party chain is also present, which increases party damage and also grants players buffs when certain combos are reached. This allows classes with lower hit rates to take advantage of the combo system much more efficiently. Blue Protocol also uses an elemental system consisting of fire, ice, thunder, earth, light, and dark. Skills will inflict ailments on enemies based on the type of elemental attack used. An elemental gauge will appear on enemies, which shows the number of elemental stacks on the enemy, and the gauge can be increased by reapplying the element. The effect of the ailment will increase as the elemental gauge is filled. At gauge level 3, your character will gain elemental burst effects, which include a knockdown or freeze at the start of the burst, a high damage burst attack at the finish, and depending on the elemental type, an additional burst finish effects such as paralysis or lifesteal. In order to reach these high burst levels, the devs have noted that it is necessary for the whole party to inflict elemental attacks, and that burst effects are necessary for difficult battles. When talking about gameplay modes, it is important to note that Blue Protocol has PvE content only, with no plans to implement PvP into the game. Personally, I prefer PvE content in MMOs, and with the devs focusing on only this type of content, it can be better optimized. If you are hoping for PvP content, just know there are no confirmed plans at this time. In addition to story content in the game, Blue Protocol is confirmed to be launching with a variety of gameplay modes, including dungeons, raids, arena, and tower. During the recent developer livestream, it was also confirmed that all content could be performed solo or in a group. Dungeons, arena, and tower can be done with up to 6 people, while raids can be performed in parties of up to 30. We'll discuss how parties are formed in the next section. Dungeons are your standard group content for farming currency and materials. We know you'll be granted a number of entries per day, and rewards can be increased with the use of tickets, which may allow players to skip days and not miss out on too many rewards. Arena is another another game mode where groups take on waves of enemies and must kill all these enemies within a defined time limit. Tower appears to function similar to a tower in Lost Ark, Spiral Abyss in Genshin, or tower modes present in most anime gacha games. Towers consist of 20 floors which must be cleared in 20 minutes, with a range of difficulties available to take on. Raids are your typical group MMO content, allowing up to 30 players to take on a large enemy. Based on raid battles we've seen through live streams and CBTs, it's hard to tell how challenging these fights will be and how much group coordination will be required, but the mode looks quite fun and chaotic nonetheless. In addition to combat, Blue Protocol has a stunning open world environment to explore. Each city, such as the main hub of Asterleeds, can hold up to 200 people per channel, so you can expect to interact with lots of players while exploring towns. Each field zone is able to hold up to 30 players, and players will be required to kill monsters in the open world in order to farm materials for weapon crafting. There are various NPCs to interact with, including the beauty salon for changing appearance, dye shop for customizing skins, roaming chefs for receiving food buffs, and of course NPCs for receiving quests. During Dev Livestream 6, we saw a glimpse of some of the other game modes coming, including fishing and a minigame where players can hunt down a hidden creature in the open world for achievements. There appears to be a vast number of activities to do on launch, and as long as the devs continue to implement new endgame content to keep the game from feeling overly repetitive, then it appears the game is on the right track for success. Next, we're going to talk about classes, as this is always one of the most important aspects when starting a new MMORPG. There are 5 classes coming to Blue Protocol at launch, with rather weird names in my opinion. The 5 classes appearing at launch are the Blade Warden, the Twin Striker, the Keen Strider, the Spell Weaver, and the Foe Breaker. I plan to cover each class in more detail in a separate video and leading up to the launch of the game. The Blade Warden uses a sword and shield and fills the primary tank role in a party with the ability to block attacks and draw aggro from enemies. The Twin Striker uses dual axes and is primarily a DPS class with a focus on building combo gauge to increase damage. They also have a lifesteal skill to aid in their survivability. The Keen Strider uses a bow for dealing mid-range and long-range attacks and uses an aim and shoot as well as lock-on playstyle. The Keen Strider specializes in buffing your party and healing and serves as the primary healer role in the game. The Spell Weaver is a mage class which uses long-distance attacks capable of dealing high damage. This class is supposed to have the highest skill cap, but also the highest reward, and I'm sure will be one of the most popular with the Western audience. The Foe Breaker attacks at close to mid-range using a heavy hammer, allowing the class to knock back smaller enemies and deal big damage with slow and methodical attacks. The class has high HP and a super armor skill, making them very tanky. Blue Protocol allows players to switch classes at any time by swapping weapons. This will require you to have the specific class weapon crafted, but will not require alt characters, which is a huge upside for me personally. Gearing in Blue Protocol is done primarily with the use of crafting of weapons and imagines. Imagines are similar to artifacts and provide additional combat stats. Weapons are crafted from gathering, drops from enemies in the open world, dungeon drops, and currency. Crafting weapons give randomized attributes and special effects. This means that you may want to craft the same weapon multiple times to optimize its stats. Weapon crafting can also give normal or great success, which increases the number of weapon sockets available for attaching plugs and increases the special effect. Weapon plugs provide additional stats and are obtained from activities like missions and events. Weapons can be upgraded and higher tier weapons can be unlocked with higher tier dungeons. While there is RNG in the weapon crafting system, the system does not seem too punishing on initial look and will give something for endgame players to grind for. Character creation in Blue Protocol is absolutely stunning and allows complete control of body type and facial features. Character height, body size, and bust for female characters are controlled with simple sliders. Nearly all facial features can be customized as expected in a full-featured character creation system. The only thing that is lacking a bit, in my opinion, are the number of hairstyles currently available. Hair color can be monotone or gradient. An additional control of hair color has been added since CBT2. Eye shape, eye color, mouth shape, and features, and makeup are all customizable as well. These features can be changed after character creation with purchase tickets. In addition to character features, outfits and accessories are also available to be equipped for further customization of characters. Some of these can be expected to be obtained by free-to-play players from things like missions and quests, while others will be available exclusively in the cash shop. There are a surprising number of clothing items that can be equipped. The image from the recent dev livestream shows all of the skins that are available, including weapon skins, head accessories, earrings, glasses, clothing, hand accessories, waist accessories, underwear, etc. Gestures, stamps, and mounts will also be available in the cash shop. Finally, a dye shop is in the game, allowing you to dye the majority of parts of clothing for customizing colors and patterns. Dyes will be obtainable from in-game events and from the cash shop as well. The devs have noted they're still working on social features within the game as of Livestream 6. At this time, they've shown off the teams feature, similar to a guild in other MMOs. As the team gains experience in the game, the team level will be increased, allowing more people to join. It is not clear what other additional benefits this system has at this time. When performing group content, there are 4 different ways you can team up with other players, including direct invitations, a matching system for missions and dungeons, a quick party finder system, which matches you up with people in your vicinity, and a recruitment list system. One thing to note is that allowed communication between players does differ between the different methods, which could help minimizing some trolling or toxic players, but may make completing the dungeon more challenging. We already discussed some of the monetization features in the game, which include costumes and accessories, as well as appearance change tickets. The devs have indicated a gacha system will be implemented for costumes, but there's no confirmation that this will also be done by Amazon for the global version. Additionally, the game will have a season pass, cash shop, gacha shop, point store, and season store. Additionally, items to increase rewards from dungeons, skip quests, potions, and increase crafting success will be available for purchase. Amazon did alter the cash shop for the Western version of Lost Ark for the better in my opinion, so all of this is subject to change. The last thing I just want to touch on is why I think Blue Protocol will be a big and successful game. I wouldn't bother covering the game on my channel if I didn't think it had some longevity. First, the game seems to be catering to a more casual audience with its relatively simple controls, ability to play solo, and double rewards ticket system. The art style is classic with a proven mass appeal. The game has a free-to-play business model with a Steam listing, which I do believe pushed Lost Ark into the initial success the game saw. Blue Protocol is a truly cross-platform compatible MMORPG at launch. The devs have shown that they are open to addressing feedback and making changes from all the developer live streams we've seen. There's no forced group content required for character progression, and Amazon has quite a bit of experience publishing live service games at this point and surely can't fail again. If you made it to the end of the video, I truly appreciate you sticking around. If you found this video helpful, consider leaving a like, and if you want to stay up to date on the latest Blue Protocol news, consider subscribing to the channel. I'll see you guys soon for the next one. Peace.